And here we go, another practice here in New York for the Giants. Daniel Jones, Malik Nabers, Wan'Dale Robinson, and a bunch of others. Guys, we have some news, notes, highlights, observations that I wanted to catch you guys up on. In this video, we're going to break it all down for you. Or another day here in New York for Giants practices. But before we jump in, like we always do, let's just give a massive shout out to all of the Giants reporters out there who, endlessly work so hard to get these highlights out for us, kind of enabling us to make this video. Guys, without them, these videos are not possible to make, so go follow them, right? Their ats are at the top left of your screen, and just like me, you can be updated with all the news and notes and highlights as practice is going on, right? So you don't have to wait for me to post these videos, you can get them in real time. Okay, so go follow them on Twitter really quickly. And with that being said, let's kind of dive into the video a little bit. Now, there was a big question mark coming into practice today and over the last few days with Jermaine Illuminor going down with an injury. They didn't really know the severity at first, and it was very alarming, but this dude is tough. This dude came back, had a really bad bone bruise, I believe, on his ribs or something like that. But he is back, starting with the first team offense, and the dude's a machine. The dude is a machine. We need to get some W's in the comment section for Jermaine Illuminor, because that is toughness right there, and that's what you want to build your team around, okay? So that is a very good thing. We also did hear from Brian Daboll that safety Tyler Nubin has a tight calf, and he will not practice. He also said before practice that Illuminor wouldn't practice today either, but he did. So again, the toughness is really being showcased there. Definitely love to see that. Now, we did see a couple of guys really start to break out defensively here over the last few days for the New York Giants. One being Deonte Banks, right? We've been waiting for that breakout for that deep, for that DB room, and he looks like a guy right away coming in here. He's put in some work as a former first-round pick, and he looks different, right? Had a nice little pass deflection, pass breakup on a Malik Nabers target, although it might have been a hold. The dude looked really good. I don't really know if it was a hold. They're saying it could have been a hold, may have not been. Who knows what it would have been called in a game, but still really good coverage skills by Deonte Banks with that one. We also saw Drew Lock missing a wide open touchdown. Never like to see that, but at this point, Drew Lock is fighting for his NFL career. Has to be a little bit better going forward. We also saw Daniel Jones come in on some 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, read a blitz well, right? Change the protection at the line of scrimmage, understand where the defensive rotations are going to come from, and then hitting Darius Slayton on a nice little out route. And actually, Brian Daboll is wicked pumped about that, man. He loves how, Daniel Jones is still getting better and better at when it comes to being able to read a defense. And I feel like he's really just hitting the surface in terms of what he could do down the line. So definitely excited about Daniel Jones in terms of that. And during the first, kind of session, he was 7 of 11, and all 4 incompletions were not great ones. There was one of them where he missed Wan'Dale Robinson wide open, no one within what seemed to be 20 yards of him. Missed him a little bit. Obviously needs to work on that deep throw actually just a little bit more. Missed Malik Nabers a couple of times today as well. But once he gets that, ironed out, Daniel Jones is a fine quarterback. We know how good he is with his legs. We know how good he is in terms of, now being able to read a defense, where the blitz is coming from, making sure that his protection is in the right areas, right? So I do think Daniel Jones is getting better and better as the days go on, but this is what we want to see consistently, right? We want to see him consistently getting better throughout practice, right? Before we get any further into the video, do me a big favor, guys. Hit the like button, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers, which is insane. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family, and we will be covering the Giants almost every single day of training camp, preseason, and regular season games as well, breaking down film so you guys are kept up to date with everything you need to know. Okay, lastly, make sure you follow the Twitch. We're going to be live streaming some Giants games on my Twitch, Matty Dubs with 3 S's, or you can find the link in the description below. That being said, let's get back into the video. The wide receivers have been getting a ton of burn here, a lot of action. The Giants are seemingly running a lot more 4 wide receiver sets, right? And we're seeing a lot of them, right? Wan'Dale Robinson, Malik Nabers, Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton. They have a lot of wide receiver depth. We talked about this a ton. Isaiah McKenzie, Isaiah Hodgins, Allen Robinson, Miles Boykin, Dennis Houston, Bryce Ford-Wheaton. A lot of guys they really like. How do you get them involved? Run more 4 wide receiver sets. And that's exactly what they're doing. And they're doing it, not solely from in between the 20s, but also in the red zone as well, right? They're trying to become a lot more versatile in terms of being able to spread the field out and, having multiple different weapons to go to at once. I think that will be something they rely on a lot this season. And, it will be interesting to see what they do going forward. Drew Lock, had a really nice touchdown throw to Miller for a touchdown. That was beautiful. I mean, really like to see these young guys get active here. Dante Miller's a guy who has a long uphill battle to go to make this roster, and I believe that one could help his case a little bit. Got to see a little bit of Tommy DeVito also hitting Miller out the backfield for another touchdown. So Miller having a couple of big plays today, getting some touchdowns, working up the depth chart, showing off that speed. Again, a lot of work to do for him, but, making the roster isn't totally out of the realm of possibility for him. Daniel Jones missed another wide open Allen Robinson, but this one was more because Brian Burns, the new defensive end, or I guess edge rusher you could say, absolutely dominated off the edge, got right to Daniel Jones and forced him to throw that ball a lot quicker than he wanted to. But that's okay, right? That's okay. You bring in Brian Burns for that sole reason, to get to the quarterback. Force pressure. Whenever you can force pressure on a quarterback, you can create one of 5 things, right? A bad throw, a bad decision, an interception, a forced fumble, a sack, right? So Brian Burns is going to be able to help out a ton, even bring that competitive nature to practice as well. Daniel Jones threw one to Malik on a go route, beating Deonte Banks. And Daniel with a beautiful back shoulder to Hyatt, beating Banks as well. Banks did get beat a couple of times today, but early on in practice had a couple of good reps. You're going to get beat, every once in a while, especially when you're going up against the size and the nature of Malik Nabers and then the speed of Jalen Hyatt. You got some good wide receivers to defend, and that comes back to how competitive practices are going to be. It's going to really help out both sides of the football continue to get better as time goes on. But this was definitely one of the longest practices of the year for them so far. I think they have an off day tomorrow, so no practice tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll drop a standouts, a video dropping or covering the standouts so far. If you guys want that video, comment down below just saying part 2, and that'll help me understand. But overall, good practice today. A lot of competitive energy. No side is dominating the other. So still a lot to work on here for the Giants. The defense, the offense. We'll see how things progress going forward. But hit the